Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Carver Conservation Commission meeting for Wednesday, January 18th, 2023. Our order of business on tonight's agenda, it's a very light night. We have a couple of discussions, and I believe our two continued public hearings are now off the agenda, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it's going to be a light night as opposed to a late night. All right, first up, 0 rear Plymouth Street. We have a COC.
Yep. Mr. Eric Weston is requesting that the COC be approved. According to his testimony, they did not do any of the work that they applied for and on the order of conditions, so it's going to be based on that. There's no plan, because since they didn't do any work. And the OOC was issued in 2011, so it's been sitting around a while.
Okay.
So there's nothing to show you. He said that you're familiar with the property.
Okay.
And you've been out there, so, and since they haven't done anything, he said, he'd leave that up to you folks.
Okay, this is unrelated to the things that we talked about over the last 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, so for refreshing, Mr. Chairman, this is the...
Yeah, come on up to the table. Sign in, please.
Eric Weston, 189 Main Street, Carver. To refresh you, Mr. Chairman, this is the property that we went through with the request for determination. We met there with the DEP.
Oh, yes.
And what this is a leftover order of conditions from a permit that Mr. Carlton got, which is who I'm in purchase with.
Okay.
It's part of our business arrangement, so my attorney found this order of conditions, which was, as you've seen, he never acted on the permit, never did anything with the permit.
Okay.
He just let it expire, but it was still there with the registry. So per my attorney, filed the COC and try to clear this up.
Okay, fine. So nothing was done.
Right.
Okay.
That's
that
it.
clears
Short
it.
and
That's
sweet.
fine with me. Okay, because I know that we're doing other things up in Plymouth Street, but okay, very good. So I will entertain a motion to approve the COC for 0 rear Plymouth Street.
So moved.
Second. All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the COC for 0 rear Plymouth Street. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it's approved 4-0. All right, thank you. You all set?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's just taking me longer to write my name in.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, yes. Next up is 36 Bunnies Road. And
Come
what
on
do
up
we
to
have
the
on?
table and sign in, please.
Okay.
Mr. Hughes wants to do some improvements around his residential building, and go ahead and explain to him what you propose, if you would.
I moved here 2 years ago, and I am asking for, I don't know if you look at the paperwork, the very first page is the front of my house. And that little deck with the little covering over it is falling apart. And in this last storm, the right one that you're looking at kind of gave way. But I also have never liked the bulkhead that's there, and I have a contractor who can put in a low-rise one and then cover it with the deck. So that's why the deck is set as 8 by 16 to cover the bulkhead. And there will be no overhang. It'll just be open deck stairs to get up and in. And the other request is Oh, by the way, my property is all but 3 feet within the buffer zone. Okay. And as you look at the last page, which is the septic system map, way down in the bottom left corner, next to the legend, is the 100-foot mark. And to the right is the pond. So my property is 103 feet, and 100 of it is by the pond, so definitely within the buffer. And on that same sheet, you can see the green is the existing deck toward the water, and the green is that little 6x7 one that you see from the first page. The green is 14 by 12 and is currently 25 feet from the water. And I would like to, because that also is in disarray, and I need to replace the railings up top. So I'm asking if I can continue it to the edge of the house. And that was what I was asking for. Any
Thanks.
questions?
And this is just, the flooring is just 5/4 by 8 or 6 planking?
Right. And I permission to put the cement sonic tubes in.
The sonotubes underneath it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I met with Brooke a year ago,
Okay.
and she said, come in front of the board and tell them cement sonic tubes is what she told me to say. Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
they're the least destructive.
yes.
All right, so it looks like on the deck on the side of your house, on the lake side of the house, all you're really going to be covering up is a little bit of grass area and some mulch.
Yep. And unfortunately, my little blueberry bush will have to move.
Okay. Are you leaving like an eighth or a quarter-inch gap between the boards on your
yes.
floor? Okay, so water will go through.
The existing deck that's there is Trex. And I
Okay,
just wish they did it for the railings also. But
okay. And you're doing the same thing, your deck in the front, or is that just,
the deck in the front is currently 6x7, and I'm asking to go 8. It has to come out 8 feet to cover the bulkhead.
So
okay,
the little green box is existing.
yeah, so again, this is Trex or
Yes.
something similar?
Well, that one was never Trex, but it will be.
It will be, okay. And again, it looks like it's just covering, in this particular case, just covering up mulch,
Correct.
almost entirely mulch.
I have
a little
mulch
bit
all
of-
the
a
way
little bit
around
of
the
lawn.
property.
Okay, and again, there'll be slight, tiny gaps between the boards so water can get through. Okay,
And that map shows where the cesspool septic system are on the roadside and up the hill.
okay. And you're not going to cover any of either of the decks? With
No.
a canopy, okay. All right, anyone else have any?
You're also ripping down the overhang thing you have there, a little by the front
Yeah,
door?
that's
That's gonna be gone, so it's
just
just gonna
about
be
came down in
open.
that storm.
So it's just gonna be open, like the roof
I
line's
want
gonna
it
be.
open,
Yeah.
yes. If I decide, I would put the canvas ones, that crank out.
Right, right.
thing, if it's too much
Sunsetter.
sun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had one in New York, they're very good. Not an endorsement. I had a good result with that.
So really, the only thing you're asking for is to put one sonotube in?
Actually, 4.
4? No, but
There's,
on the deck closest to
On the deck, just one, it just needs one on the
one
corner.
close to the pond?
And then it's gonna have the ledger board against the house.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I would think that we should just, anybody else have any comments?
Not really. The only thing I was gonna say is when we have looked at cases like this where they're asking pretty minimal ask, that the one thing that we ask is that there be some replication for what they're covering or building over in terms of activity within the buffer zone.
Well, I mean, they're basically taking away lawn and mulch. So I don't know where you would replicate that. It looks like the property is pretty much lawn and mulch anyway, so I don't know.
Okay, it's hard to tell, but yep.
You know, I would think that that would be more of an issue if it was going to be covered and impervious to the, you know, not let rainwater get through it and down to the ground. It's more about the water getting into the soil in this case. So I'm thinking maybe an A&R? Or what would we do in this case?
Oh, an RDA would be,
That's what I meant, an
yeah,
RDA.
that's all right. Just
Yeah,
let it go. Yeah, and I do an RDA.
okay.
And would you be fine with them,
I think
since
this,
it's an RDA and he's doing it
yes,
himself?
I think this is
This would be
fine.
his presentation and then fill the form out and
Yes.
pay the fee?
Yeah, an RDA is a request for determination of applicability, and it basically means that it's you come before us in a public hearing and we vote as to whether to, you know, let you do it. It's not a note of intent, which, you know, requires drawings and everything else. This is just, for projects like this, we just, you know, have to have a public hearing and take a vote.
Okay.
But with an RDA, you're not required to notify abutters, correct?
No, you do not have to.
Okay, so this
yeah.
is just it's a less formal application. So basically, you'll just come back to us with the same thing.
There's a state form you fill out and you pay a fee.
Okay.
All right?
And I'll help you with that.
And you come right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
put you on our next meeting or the one after that, whenever,
Okay.
you know, whenever you'd like, and then we'll.
And what
we'll
it does is,
vote on
it, instead of going for a full permit, in their wisdom, they'll say, you don't need it, and you're good to go.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
All right.
all right.
Very good.
Okay, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. Next up is 187 Meadow Street. And I don't see anybody.
It's the second time they
Second
haven't
time.
shown.
Did they call and ask you to be put on?
Yeah, we emailed back and forth, and he said he missed the last one because he didn't feel good. He didn't notify us, but he just said, oh, I didn't feel good, so I didn't come in. And this time I haven't heard, he said, put me on for the next, and I didn't hear yay or nay.
All right. So our next one is on
February 1st.
February 1st, so if he calls again, have him, we'll put him on for the 15th.
Okay.
It's been kind of a pattern here. I don't know if it's worth a phone call just to say, hey, just as a reminder, you do need to come in before proceeding.
Well, you know, I
I
just
mean,
said,
we can discuss it without him being here, right? I mean, he doesn't have to be here, right?
we can, yes.
Yeah.
If you'd like to do that, we can.
Yeah, you might as well, I mean,
Okay, yeah,
I mean,
it's not a public hearing, and he does not have to be here. All right, so, anyway, I'll let someone else start.
I mentioned it last time. I don't know. I can't see how we can allow this to happen. I mean, he's just filling in a cranberry bog, right? Is that what's going on here? I can't. Our parts are one, right?
Well, he's not filling in a cranberry bog, he's building a complete dwelling 25 feet from a cranberry bog, and the entire dwelling is within the no-touch zone,
Right.
as is 80% of the leach field.
And he's building something across the driveway, right? He's coming in,
Yeah,
yeah, from the other side. I mean,
yeah. So-
I don't know. I had a hard time with this one.
I have an easy time with this one.
No.
Okay,
And I don't mean that in a ruthless way. I just meant, just
Yeah.
following our paint by numbers. This is
Yeah.
an N followed by an O, followed by an exclamation point.
yeah, yeah. Curtis, anything to add?
I mean, he must have known he just he was just trying to see if he could do it, or what?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we're all in agreement here that this is not buildable, the way it's on.
Shouldn't we let him know instead of wasting more of his time? Like, say,
oh, I can email him back,
there's at least
so it's on the record.
that we we don't think it's a viable thing.
So all four of you aren't for the project then?
Correct.
Okay, I'll just email them back and say the commissioners are not in favor of what you're proposing.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, the precedent.
And I'll CC you guys, just so
Well,
you
save him
have it.
some, I mean, he's already spent some money on this thing.
Well, that's what I don't understand,
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know?
but-
Well, the precedent that we've set over the years disallows this. We can look at Center Street, the house that was under the poles,
Right.
that we said no to, unbuildable. It's the same type thing. So, you know, this is why these laws are in effect. And, you know, maybe if there was, he doesn't own any property that's more than 70 feet away from the cranberry bog. That dark, thick, black line is his property line. There is nowhere on that property, the one between the 65 and the 100,
Right,
that is his property line. So there's
nothing there. that you can-
there's nowhere in that property that he can put a house. It's unbuildable. So, you know, I think that's
I mean, it's pretty
basically what-
straightforward, right? I mean.
It's pretty straightforward, yeah.
All right,
Okay,
I'll tell him.
all right.
I mean, it's just so he doesn't have to waste his time, you know what I mean?
Well, no,
Yeah.
you know, he's kind of wasting your time in a sense, you know,
A little
you're
bit.
willing to hear a little, but
All right, so we're done with our business. The 5 Stanley Lane, which is the house up in North Carver off High Street, where they were talking about putting the pool in the back, they have withdrawn their NOI
Okay,
on that. So whatever they're going to do is going to be outside the area of our jurisdiction, if they do anything at all.
okay.
So they've made a decision that not to encroach on the 100-foot. So that is in effect gone. And Zero Wade Street is continued to February 1st. And I can say, I met with the RDA last night, because I'm on that committee as well, and what the next steps that have to happen before they come to us, back to us, is getting a survey done. They've hired a surveyor to do that. Weather and other factors are going to determine when that's done. So I wouldn't be surprised if this gets continued once again, but it's only because of the getting the survey results.
That shed that was on the property too, right?
Well, they're,
We don't know that yet, right?
yeah, they're going to get it surveyed. They're also going to indicate anything that encroaches onto the parcel, and with the dimensions, how far into the
How far is it?
property that it goes. So those are all the things that the RDA has asked the surveyor to note before they come to us. So those two things are gone for tonight. Leaving, this is a quick meeting.
No, you really, oh my God, even 7:30?
Yeah, we could. Leaving us to read the minutes and approve the minutes. All right, I will just add on the minutes here that the second thing on the minutes or the review of the articles for town meeting. I have submitted them to the town administrator's office, so that's done. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for January 4th.
So moved.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of January 4th, 2023. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. I believe that takes care of everything we have this
That's
evening.
it. Yeah.
All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All right. It's been moved and seconded to adjourn for the evening. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none. Let's go home. Thank you, everyone.
It's a record.
It is.